Good evening, everyone. I'm never good with waiting for the clock to wind down. I'm a woman impatient like that and all of that. So we're just gonna get started a little bit early, even though we still have some time before the room is up. We still have some time before it's 8 o'clock and the matches begin. So we're just gonna have fun with it and we'll see where we end up. I'm just pausing the stream on YouTube so that I can keep an eye on the chat without hearing myself with my own ears and you hearing a very bad echo all the time. Let me know if the sound is okay, if the volume is okay and everything. Spotify is on, but it's on softly. We have a tournament room, so let's go there. So let me switch to that for you so that you can actually see what I am seeing. We are on EU, we are going to be streaming the Realistic Tournament tonight. And we are starting off with R2K versus Han 6. Basically, we will be following the matches towards the finals and actually stream the finals as well. Top 4 will go through to the next round tomorrow, and there are 76 teams that have registered on the EU server, and that means that we have plenty of players and plenty of teams, and that even there's a good chance that we won't really be meeting the same teams that we meet tonight again tomorrow. I'm actually really hoping for an R2K win finals tomorrow somewhere, because that would be great epic. Basically, the thing to remember is that realistic tournaments, it's of course supposed to be realistic. You don't see the outlines unless you're actually looking at the tank. You don't see their HP unless you're actually shooting them. There's no indication of where people are on the minimap and all of that, and yeah, it's supposed to be like realistic. Of course, it never is really realistic because you are stuck in a world where there are no people and no animals aside from the birds that you sometimes see fly over, and of course some of the Easter eggs that are, well, creatures. But overall, we saw earlier today with Asia that it leads to quite some funny gaming, and of course you also have the streams last week by Brian Rolling Swarm. If you haven't subbed to him, please do. And they were just great fun. It's sort of like a let's rush and the most effective rusher wins. It's a lot about the focus fire and everything. It's sort of, in a way, it's back to basics, because you can't really get there with tactics alone, because you need the DPM, you need the true armor of any tank that you can get. So I'm very curious to see what kind of tanks they will choose to take. So far we will have a match because there's at least 5 people on both sides, but we'll see. So we just have to wait a little bit. We still have a little over 2 minutes left to go. We see a Sherry on R2K side appearing, 2 Sherrys on the other side. We have seen, well, last week, if you were watching the streams as well, that is, you could also see what those things can do, because we had Pramo take a near full Sheridan team and they just wiped the enemy off the face of the earth. It is actually on stream. It's also on Darren's video that he released earlier this week with the common sounds from them and everything. It's disturbing. It's great, but it's really disturbing, and it shows exactly why I feel the missile should be removed from the game. We don't have Ardy in the game because our maps are too small, so then just put in missiles instead and render cover and angling and all of that useless, and I'm not a fan. It can be really fun, but yeah, no, it just shouldn't be. Blitz isn't the kind of game for that kind of stuff. So we still have a little over 1 minute left. R2K is still missing a player, and they can even take 2 spectators from what I saw earlier today. And the enemy team has 5 players, so overall they are missing people. But we'll see. Hopefully before the next match they will have full teams. But we'll see how far they can get with 6. And there we go, Gassio making it after all. Taking a T57 heavy. Thing is, you don't see armor profiles either, so even if you're in sniper mode, you don't see the hit skin that shows you where to shoot and everything. So you have to guess how to do it, and that's why a lot of people will use Premo. But moreover, true armor can be so effective because you wiggle and people will be trying to shoot normal ammo at you because it does more damage. And that can really work against you. So here we go, 7 versus 5. At least we'll get a match, but I do kind of feel for Hun 6. And I'm just, oh, poor Hun. Hun is something that a term that I use for a lot of things. It's sort of like an affectionate term, short from honey. That's probably not what Hun 6 is about, but in this case it is kind of fitting. I feel for them, especially to have to go against RTK, which, for all their problems that they have, they're good players, they're great players, and they have a lot of tournament experience, even though it's not... hello, Indigo! Who is to heavens? But yeah, overall we're just gonna have fun with it, and we'll see what happens. Aww, oh! So that's your in-game name. He was actually messaging me earlier. No, actually no. That's probably just a message. But anyway, it's sweet. So let's have a up and away. First Sheridan already taking some massive damage here. Oh, this poor guy. And he makes it. But Mo is going after him and he takes a little bit of damage, but they also take him out. So let's see what they look now. Gassio using the building for cover. Getting a big hit into Venom here. And they're not even bothering taking the bases. I mean, it is 7 guns versus 4 guns now, and you see the HP bleeding away. The E4 now in trouble, the Leo getting behind him. The team is not really cooperating well together. Hun 6 is being smashed to smithereens. It is 7 versus 3. I would be very surprised if any of them dies. And that is a nice little ram kill by a Leo, which is not a tank that you should ram in, but it works. And there goes the IS-7, and now the E5 is the last one left. And a Wunderkind takes him out. And that is the first game out of the way. These matches go really, really quickly. And let's see. Less than a minute and a half. Oh my god. But that's exactly my point. For some reason though, the cooldown period has dropped to less than a minute. Gassio now wants to be a spectator, even though they only have 6 players. I'm not sure that's a good idea though. Even though it will be 6 versus 5, all the same. And we are moving on to the other side of Desert Sands. Hun 6, they are changing their tanks. They dropped the E4, which is probably a good idea. But I do feel for them. Gassio, still a spectator. No, he's become a player. Probably a better idea. What is he doing? Oh my lord. So let's see what is going to happen here. It will be 6 versus 5. And we'll see what they do with it. Killer tomato. Not tomato. Tomato. I do love the camo from the one Mo. He still uses that very proudly, and rightfully so. It does look good. It always reminds you of the American flag, but it does look so good. There's actually a glitch. I'm not sure if you've already noticed that, but there's a glitch where you can't see the Bloom team on the minimap. And now the whole enemy team, the whole Hun 6 team I should say, is heading towards the desert. And they're gonna be spotted soon. You see that they're already spotted, they're already off. Oh bless. Oof, that was a big hit into Massive. But look at this, Zoli is almost gone, there he goes. Moses is close behind, getting shot from left and right, and there he goes. And that is 2 guns already out of the way. Indigo is flanking through the town. The Leo is now the favorite target. He's not gonna survive this for long. He actually bounced though. Have to give him that. Oh, massive hit into the IS-7 there. And they're almost gone. Gassio, I hope you enjoyed this spectating. There goes Venom. And now there's only one guy left. Indigo is just arriving and he's not got a single shot into it. So basically it was a 5 versus 5. Oh, this is so bad though. Honestly. I mean, look, Indigo doing 0 damage. To be fair, their IS-7 did 0 damage as well. But this is... I feel for them. So, with the best of 3, that was actually the first matchup. It was over in 5 minutes for 2 matches. And now we have to wait 25 minutes more before we get a second matchup. Oh my lord. But to be fair, if it is going to be like this all evening, it's at least going to be great fun. Now this is something. Someone in the chat just said, I love when Meaty69 said the missiles should be in sniper mode to use missiles. What do you think about that idea? That's actually an idea from Iverson, one of the players from Pramo. He was the one that first brought that up, because he's been doing insane trick shots. It's literally insane. If you go on my Discord server, link is in this video description, and you go to the missile channel that I made, there's a lot of pictures that will give that Iverson posted that just show incredibly how nuts that is. So yeah, I don't think in sniper mode it would work. It doesn't belong in the game. Because even if you alter the specifications that you would need to do it properly, you would still get those trick shots. It would just take a little bit of time to adjust to it. And it will be a little bit harder for a lot of people to do it in sniper mode, but it will not be impossible and they will still do it. So, with that in mind, I'm going to show you some replays. I'm first going to show you a game by the one Mo, where he said, and I quote, that the thing that's exceptional about this is the fact that he played like a bot the first half of the game. But since this is Mo, I'm very curious what exactly that entails. So let's have a look. This is actually one of my least favorite maps, but that is one of my favorite tanks that he's driving. Standard B. Seriously, I want this camo as well, it is so pretty. But Standard B is such a lovely tank, even after the changes that it's had, it's still so lovely. But then, I'm a big fan of the auto reloaders as a whole. It's not Supremacy mode, so that's something. I generally always play Supremacy, to be fair. And Mo is going towards the Citadel. Basically staying out of the line of sight, which you'll definitely get into when you go over the bridge, even though it is a little bit slower to get here this way. But it's the safe way to do it. So I kind of wonder what it means to play like a bot in Mo's eyes. That was a nice little... Yeah, I'm getting what you mean. This is like not what I expect from Mo. This is also kind of dangerous because they're bound to have campers. Moisten heading in. There he is, 704. That's not really the tank you want to have shooting you. A very big gun. And 2 tracking shots. Antira's almost gone. Ooh, that is a big hit. Ooh, yeah, I'm getting what you mean now, Mo. I mean, you're still OP as can be. There you go. That's one big gun out of the way. But look at the health that it cost him and his team. Let's see what he's gonna do now. The RU is moving. He's actually in quite a nice position here. That helps. One more. And there he goes. He just needs to be careful now. Because he is out in the open. As long as he has friends, he's pretty much okay. But once they drop off, he might have an issue. T49 just bounced, so that's not very helpful. He needs to take out that Super Pershing first. If you can. There you go. And now we have a tiger that is giving him the evil eye. But he has only one enemy there now, so it will be a lot easier just to... Well, not necessarily hide, but just reload in peace. It's 3 versus 3. They're spread all over. His camper at the back is not really helping anything. And the Borsig is up against another Borsig and a Moistion. So at least we know where everyone is now. There goes the Borsig. And one Mo decides to take a blind shot. Yes, he does. But that's the lovely thing about... Oh! That was an expensive blind shot. Now he's a one shot for everyone. He just needs to be very careful with this. This helps when he's driving up like that. Yeah, you're driving against a building now. And now he's not looking at you, so now you need to use that. Come on, one more, one more. There we go. But they need to be very careful. Yaktik is not going to survive this for long. And it's Elba. Which, you know that they at least know what they're doing. Oh god, I see people in the chat talking about the sexy bonbons. Oof. That is helpful. And this is something that you need to remember. This is something really good because you see that for the kill shot, he's not sticking with HE. Because you never know what HE can do potentially to basically ruin your chances. But if you know for sure that you can kill a tank with AP or APCR, then definitely use that. He has the time, he just needs to play it carefully. And he's doing just that, which I think he's doing just... This is what I love about Mo. He just seems all cool and collected with the way that he drives. And that's something that I feel a lot of people underestimate. Because if you can keep nice and calm and just go about your business, you realize how much time you have. So you realize what you can do and where you're gonna go. Moiskin is actually driving back towards the town. And that means that Mo is turning around, which I think is a very good call because you don't want to take on Moiskin head on. He's actually expecting him on top of the Citadel. Look at that. And being a great player like Mo, it's not just about what you had the damage you do, it's also about anticipating. He went this way, anticipating he could get behind the Moiskin. Now the Moiskin is changing direction, so Mo is changing his actions as well, so to speak. And now the base is being kept. Now he's making it quite easy. I wonder if he's gonna try... Yeah, he's gonna try and side scrape it. And Mo has to be very careful. He's a one-shot in every single way. He does have the heat loaded. Ooh. Oh, he got him. Nice one. 6 kills, 5.3k damage, 2-9. And this is exactly why I feel players like Mo, well, they get these crazy aces all the time, but you can't really say. He did make some mistakes in the beginning, but he played it out like a pro after. Just so you know, Siko Afghan just said, how come people who live, they have Who come live, I think that's what he means. They have lots of gold created stars and premium. This is not my account, this is a press account. Which means that it's basically stocked with everything. So that I can test tanks and that kind of stuff. So that is why. So let's have a look. I have another... I'm just gonna say it's a press account. Not my own. Let's see what other replays I have. I have some replays that look really good. I have some that I will show you later. I'm quite sure that I saved another few. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to show you one that I'm also going to show later on and maybe tomorrow. Mainly because I can. In this Smasher, everyone's love tank not broken at all, and I mean it in my best possible sarcasm. So let's see. Smasher, of course, one of the most OP tanks in the game. It's basically a fast KV2 with a little bit less derp, but a really big gun. And actually, I don't like derp guns, but I really love the Smasher, and that's saying something. So let's see what he does with this. I know the end result. I won't spoil it too much, but this is again, I've never watched this replay before, so very curious to see what will happen. And I actually promised that I'd use it on stream. That worked. Oh, that is so mean. Oh, poor guy. He can't really do anything now, though. At the risk of blocking his teammate, he needs to go elsewhere. And the Blaze is basically going YOLO. No, you can't shoot him. Unless he peeks out like that. Ooh, but then he bounces. They have a Bulldog coming up behind. 5 seconds left to reload. Ooh, that was a low roll. The Blaze is gone. And there goes Congo divers. And let's see what happens here. Oof. You would have been better off shooting AP, hun. Nice little fire on the defender there. But he does have already 2.3k damage into it, and his team is sort of like being murdered. Not quite as fast as the other team though. That is more like it. Smasher has definite potential of doing very big booms. That is not entirely true, Shelley. That works. Basically, some YouTubers are an exception, but most players that get a press account are community contributors. So you have to be a bit lucky and very well behaved. That works. It helps that this defender is driving into things and then shooting without aiming. He is trying to show us the size of his dinghy, which is saying a lot about him. And there we go. And now there's only the Helsing left. And they do have 2 bases. But overall I wouldn't be too worried at this point, because you have plenty of time to drive around. You have a light with you. So they should have a clue. Oh, that helps. Lower plate. Oh, that is a very, very big hit. And probably the LTTB is, there we go, finishing it off. But that's nearly 6k damage. Wow. In a tier 7 tank. I would be so happy with that if that happened in tier 10. That is just nuts. Well done, Toby. So with that, we have less than 10 minutes before the next match begins, which means that I can't show you another replay on the risk of missing the invite. So I'm not going to do that. So we're going to talk about stuff. I'm first going to go into the press account thing. Community contributors generally get a press account. That means that we can make more content, we can test tanks and everything. And in the case of Darren, he also has NDA, so he gets other stuff on his press account as well that aren't really in the game yet. And for me, I just mainly use it for streaming tournaments, because the wonderful thing about a press account is that people can't message you. They can't send you friend requests, they can't send you messages. It basically means it's an account in the zone of quiet, which when you're streaming tournaments is very, very useful. Whereas on my normal account, that is where I grind things. And no, having a press account does not mean I don't want anything on my normal account because I have a press account. Press account is not mine. It's Wargaming's, and it's theirs to take away from me at any point of time that they want to. So anything that is on here is mine. You also never invest money on your press account and everything. Even when Wargaming is slow with adding tanks, sometimes I still miss quite a bit of tanks on my press account. But overall, I mainly use it for the tournament, not really for making content. Because the thing is that my content isn't really reviews on new tanks and everything. There's plenty of people that do that. So I actually prefer to make review videos on other tanks, on games that I've had and everything. Of course, right now with health issues that I have, everything is a giant chore. So that's why I haven't really been uploading as much as I want to. Because ideally I would upload at least 2 videos per week. But right now that's just not doable. So having a tournament basically to have my to make me stream, to make me do stuff, that is actually very helpful for me. Because then I make the content, and because I promise Wargaming, I can't really back out of it. My 8.3k damage in the Smasher? I don't have 8.3k damage in the Smasher. I'm very sure I have never done that. I rarely ever get 8k. But I know what you mean, that's in the Sherry, not the Smasher. But yeah, I'll stream that again between matches after the next matchup that we get. Let's actually have a look at what team up we're getting, alright? And how other groups are doing. We still have 1.5 minutes before we get the... Let's see how Winsk is doing. Oh, they didn't have to play before. If you see R2K, I probably missed it. Oh, there it is. 9 Pota. They have a fully registered team, so that's a good thing. Where do you go? Let's see, on that reel. That will be interesting as well. Ashley said Pop goes the tiger. But yeah, I also actually have a nice ace game in a Tiger 1 that I can show you later on. I think. Weird thing is that sometimes tanks in the game have a different kind of name than in the replay name, I mean, than in the game, which is quite annoying. But yeah, that's basically the deal with press account, what I was talking about before. And I have one on NA as well. It's also, well, no, there's another function. Yeah, you get it to make content. You get it, well, in my case, for streaming tournaments because of the wall of silence around it. But another nice thing about it is that it allows you to play with subs. On EU, I have my account, I have every tier, that's no problem. But imagine having to start a new account on a different server and just having to grind everything all over again because you don't have tanks in high tiers and you don't have the crew skills and all of that. It just makes so much difference. And I just can't be asked, to be fair, to grind a whole new account. So I have an account on Asia as well. I can't play on Asia because of ping, so I've never asked for a press account there. But I do have a press account on EU and NA. So let's see where we are gonna go now. Nearly 5 minutes left to go. There's at least 3 players there. They're probably wondering who the F I am. But yeah, we just have to be a little bit patient, see what happens and all of that. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. I will do my best to answer them. But keep in mind that there's a 5-minute delay on the stream. So anything you ask that I would reply to takes 5 minutes before you get a reply. And that's so that people can't see each other's lineups. It's basically to make it... This is actually... No. We're not getting RTK. What? I'm not sure what is happening. We're supposed to be following RTK, but this is neither RTK. Let's just actually have a look at the bracket where the F we are. Let's see, because that is the pro thing about the Blitz Assistant app. You can actually see brackets. I have no idea where we're at. But this is really weird. Our team is 3 dashes. I don't know where the hell we went. Are we still in the same group at least? That would be helpful. We are on the same group, but we're on the other side of the bracket, really. I don't know what's going on. I'm not sure what the idea was behind this, but Wargaming generally has issue with tournaments like this, because with the professionals, you know exactly who's gonna meet who beforehand, so it's a lot easier to just attach people. And with tournaments like this, you don't. So I'm not sure what happened here, but we're going to be in a very different game than what we expected. These teams all did win the first match though, so hopefully it will be fun. But to be fair, let's have a quick look at the profile of the teams. We are looking at a 51.72% team versus a 62.98%. So I have a feeling it will be dash 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 that is going to take this home. But I'm kind of curious to see what the hell is going on. This is not really what we were waiting for, was it? I didn't get anything for Valentine's. I'm single, so I didn't really expect anything either. So, I don't mind. I sent my mother a big bouquet of roses for Valentine's just to let her know I appreciate her very much. But yeah. It's not really my kind of holiday. But I do use it as an excuse to buy people that I really care about presents. Do the same thing with Christmas, really. I like giving people presents. So we have just over 1 minute left to go. Both teams are pretty much ready. And we see that Veil, I'm just gonna call them Veil because, well, actually no, I don't know. Dash, let's call them that. Versus Voyagik. Dash versus Voyagik. Let's go with that. They are picking a 121, an E50M, 3 Sheridans, a Batchat and a 113 versus an FE4202. 2 Sheridans, a 268, an IS-7, a T22 medium, and a T57 heavy. That is a very interesting lineup on both sides. Lots of Sheridans. I wonder if we're gonna see a lot of trick shots. So let's see. 15 seconds left to go. We have to just be a tiny little bit more patient now. Oh, thank you, Valley of Fire. That's really sweet of you. So let's see. Here we go. Into the very unexpected match that we did not know. Let's see what they do with all these cherries, if we're gonna see a lot of rockets. Let's see, this is a nice little attachment on the batchat with a fire extinguisher. And we see that Dash is heading towards base C, and we see that Wojcik is doing the same thing. I'm probably pronouncing everything wrong, but And there we go. And I have a feeling that we're gonna see a lot of issues here. They're just rushing in straight off, losing quite a bit of HP. And getting in each other's way, not shooting the same target, that can be very, very tricky. HP wise, Internet Z-Wars is almost gone. He's not going to survive for much longer unless he's very, very careful. E50M is moving in, wanting to ram. And there goes the first guns. Nice little bounce on the T-22 medium. 268 is reloading. And there goes the T-22. Guns are disappearing left and right. We are focusing on the 268 here. That's going to... Wow, Tom is not a pull-up person. Oof. And he's still alive. Yes, ram yourself to death, why don't you? So now we have an IS-7 left and a T-57 Heavy. So let's focus on this IS-7. He's going to get a shot in. If he actually... No, he shoots the ground. And there goes the IS-7. And now only this T-57 Heavy is left. He's even shooting the ground, which is not very hopeful. And Dash takes the first match home. It's a tiny little bit much difference. Double the damage on Dash's side than on Wojcik's side. Quick match as well. That's generally what we see happen a lot. In the meantime, Zerd is messaging me. On the other side. Just messaging. This is so weird though. So we are ready in 12 seconds. We're gonna see the second match of this very unfair fight as well. And we'll see what happens. Here we go. With similar lineup on one side. Very different lineup on Wojcik's side actually. Let's see. And we have Dash that is now taking IS-4. So we have a Batchat, an E50M, an IS-4. 3 shares in a 1-2-1 versus an E50M. An IS-7, a Yege, a Leo, 268, T-22 medium, and a T-62A. Let's see what is happening this time around. To be fair, I expect something very similar to last time. And they are heading in the same direction, with the IS-7 staying a bit more close by. I'm not sure why they picked a Yege, because it's so slow and prone to miss. The polite guy in the Leo getting the first Sheridan hit into him. Internet's D was in a bit of trouble. The 1-2-1 going just full YOLO. They're not focusing on the same target. That can be very costly. And we see the 1-2-1 losing a lot of health very quickly. But all the same, the E50M is going to be gone soon. Wow, Batchat is now reloading. And basically now it's looking a lot better for... Well, actually no, not anymore. HP wise, Wojcik has an advantage. They are hunting down people. The Sheridan is still barely alive, he's not going to survive this. There he goes. It is 5 guns versus 4, with 1 barely alive. And one of them is a very big Yege. And they need to be careful. T-22 moving in. And there goes Tom. And this is actually T-22 is ignoring the Batchat in favor of the E50M. So that could go every which way. It is 3 versus 4. Batchet is still reloading. Oh, that could be costly. No, he's still alive. There he goes. Sheridan now moving in, wanting... Ooh, big hit into the Sherry there. Wanted to get a big hit in, but there... It's 2 versus 2, but HP-wise, Wojcik is looking a lot better. And they should probably send the Batchet off just to cap bases. Sherry getting a big hit into it. 268 now moving in. They need to get the blip out of there. And just cap the bases. They can outcap them. We have the 268 here. The Jaeger is still capping. And they want to get those TDs. But they have to be very careful. Thing is now that they've given the advantage away, it could be very tricky for them. They are moving together. Oof, big hit into the 268. They have to be very careful. And they need to just get the bases, really. Jaeger is behind it. They're not expecting them there. If the Batchet would just go and cap, that would work out very well for them, I think. But I have to give them credits. Wojcik is doing quite well. I have no idea what they're saying. Sherry in potential trouble. Thing is, they have to be very careful. Those are very big guns. But they're not working on the cap at all. Jaeger. Let's see if he can get away with a shot here. Careful, Sherry. They know where one of them is. And that can be very dangerous for the Sheridan. Work together. No! Not with your bum towards the Jaeger. Oh my god. And there he goes. And now it's just the Batchet that is a one shot for all. He will get that another shot in. But then he has to reload and he won't have time to get out. He really needs to get the bases. Even if it betrays where he is. Ooh, nice ground shot by the Object 268. Who is now allowing the Batchet to get some shots in. But he is not hanging around. And basically, it was Dash that did not play as a team here. And we see now the Batchet is running away. He's not going to be able to cap. He just needs to get around. He needs to try and get the kills. But it's looking very dire. Jaeger moving towards the middle. He might well meet the Jaeger here. That could potentially go, potentially right. That works. And now he really needs to work on those bases. But he's not, he really just wants to take him out. And that is very dangerous. He could potentially do that. But with 2 bases on their side, he does not have that long. Is he gonna go up? No, he's gonna go around. Thing is that the 268 will not be able to see where he is until it's too late. Batchet should have this, amazingly. There we go, he took it home. Well done. Massive kudos to the Batchet. 5.3k damage, 5 kills. Batchat literally saved the game. Overall, Dash did not play that prettily. But that was quite amazing by the Batchat. This is the beauty of realistic tournaments. Because you don't get the whole... Someone is right behind you if you get close enough. You actually have to see them. And that in this case made the Batchat win. So that is the second matchup gone for today. Let's see what else are we getting. I'm gonna look in on R2K, see what's going on their side. Where are you? There you are. Ah, they won. And now they're up against Young Gods, and that could be a potential very nice matchup. So I'm actually really hoping that we're gonna jump back to that side. Because look at this. Stats-wise, they're a pretty strong team. So I'm kind of wondering where they will go. RTK slightly better in stats, and of course, but it would be a cool matchup. And I actually actually forgot to check what time they're gonna meet in. So that's very dumb of me. Let's see, ready to kill. What time? I think in half an hour. Yeah, 20 minutes. So that means I'm gonna show you another replay. Let's see, what replay do I want to show you? Let's see, I have some really nice games, and that's the thing. I want to show them all. Let's see. I'm going to show you one that I also showed on the Asia stream earlier today. Because it's nuts. And the guy is really lucky in some ways, but it is nuts. And that kind of... this kind of a game deserves showing off twice. So let's see what he does. It's a Kraken game. Kraken French-based clan. And he's driving the Sherry in the Bat Camo. And this is not a basic... No, this is actually a great game to support my Missile Shouldn't Be in the Game. For multiple reasons. And let's see. Zaz is at the moment being annoying with spamming as he is, but we'll appreciate him later on. There's the first guy to take a big hit and another big hit. Poor guy's not gonna survive for long if he drives like that. Very little HP left. And we see that Blue Bay is moving in. No idea how that penned because he was driving up something. And we hear a missile fly and actually hit the ground. So our Sherry is a little bit lucky. He just needs to wait a little bit more. There goes an E1. Zafzaz took him out. Nice little shot there. And he is in a very precarious position. This is not a position that I would like to be in, to be fair. He just needs to be careful. Ooh, low roll. And he has a missile launcher behind him, so he has to be careful with that. And he's losing quite a bit of health just because of that low roll, so that's not a good thing. And this is a nice little... Well, missed, well not missed, but derped HE shot, because he could have done a lot more damage than that with that shot. And right now I think he's just taking a little bit of a breather while he reloads. Overall it seems to be going pretty evenly. He seems to be ignoring the E100, but then decides not to. Putting a big hit into him. Even though he drives into the building because of it. But the E100 is really not focused on him. And that is a very good thing. Let's see, another nice hit. We are 3.7k damage into it. And the E100 is only now slowly turning towards our guy. So we have to be careful with that, because it's a very juicy tank. You hear the E100 fire, and he's actually nice and max roll there. But this is the thing that I like. If you pay attention to what kind of shots your teammate has done and what kind of shots your enemy has done mainly, you can get very far in the game. So when he does this, I'm not really surprised, but I am surprised that he's going to like move in front of the grill almost. And the grill then misses. And that is so vital here, because he's alone versus him and the E100. Both were full health. He's 5.4k damage into it. He takes a hit from the E100 here. It's now a one shot for both of them. And that is very, very dangerous. So now he has to decide where to go and how to make this work. Now he shoots the missile, and you see that the missile is actually derping because he moved back too far behind the building, which actually meant that the missile was aiming back towards the building. So the missiles are a little bit tricky like that, but the thing is that this though, with the grill, this action. Nice big hit, lots of things damaged. And he just needs to stay behind him in order to survive, which the grill is not making too difficult. He also switched to APCR, which means that it will be less likely that he damages himself while killing off the grill. Full health E100 left to go for this one-shot Sherry. And now this is what I meant with Zaf says making us like him, because he's actually being talking about upvoting this guy and everything, and I like that kind of attitude. So let's see. This is also, by the way, the proximity spotting, because you're above him. I quite like that. Let's see. Enemy E1 is not happy. And he shoots the ground, and he shoots the bum. 6.9k damage. Which is already a very, very epic damage number, to be fair. The thing is, he just has to be very careful. And Zaf says, being very helpful and kind of sweet. These are the kind of teammates, they are distracting as heck when they talk like that, but it's actually really nice. So let's see him here. Let's see where he goes. He kind of, this is the point where you have to get the shots in carefully. Aww. And this is definitely helpful. High roll as well. So he needs 2 full pens now in order to take out that E100. But the E100 now knows where he is, and that's a big issue. So he's going to the other side. And that one bounced. He has less than a minute left, which can be very, very tricky. But now he's able to use these ridges as cover and just not get shot himself, while he can shoot the E100. This is exactly what I have against missiles. There we go. Ooh, no, he's gonna need 2 more shots. E100 still there. He's unable to cap it this time. And every time the E100 looks... There we go. Now he just needs 1 more. He just needs to stay in cover, not reveal himself until he can make that shot. And then he can just pull back. Because he can see the E100. He doesn't need to blow his cover. There goes the missile, and there he goes. Well done. 8.741. That is something you don't see every day. And a collarbone of at that, and defender of the base and all of that. But just, that's nuts. I mean, that's really nuts. I've seen several AK games happen on Asia server, and For some reason it seems easier there in a way, but on EU, getting that kind of damage is just mind-blowing. And the battle duration was exactly 7 minutes as well, so this was an epic game, really epic in every way. So we now have 10 minutes left before the next match begins, which means that the room will be up in 5 minutes. I have no idea what team will be ending up with here, but it should be fun either which way. We'll see. I kind of really do hope for the RTK versus Young Gods matchup, and we'll see. In the meantime, I'm entertaining over 100 people, so I'm quite happy with that. I am getting some messages on Discord. I promise I will look at it later. I don't generate chat messages unless it's from my stream mods, because then it's generally about the stream. And we just have to wait. Basically, we have to be patient. But let's get back to the missiles. Let's talk about missiles. Since the testing phase, we've been telling Wargaming, you don't want this. We don't need this in the game. It will break the game. And when we tested the tanks, we actually thought that maybe we were wrong, because the missiles weren't that hard, weren't that easy to get proper shots in. But then you had a player from Premo named Iverson, and he just basically smashed everything, did trick shots left and right and all of it, and it just goes to show that if you practice it enough, you can get those shots in as well, and that should just never happen. Shots like that don't belong in Blitz. We don't have RD because our maps are too small. So why would you basically create RD in this way? I like the tanks, I love the tanks, I really do, but I don't want missiles in the game. And exactly like what you saw just now against the E100. Yes, the guy did great, and definitely kudos to him. But the fact that you can fire a shot, go back into cover, aim your shot, let your shot change direction and everything, and then hit the enemy, that is not okay. So yeah. In the meantime, I am seeing a very odd language message in my chat, so I'm just gonna quickly Google Translate that to see what it says. Well, we wait for the room to be up anyway. The guy said, "You play very well." I'm not playing, I'm actually just showing you a replay, but okay, thank you. So, in 2 minutes the room invite should be up, and then we go to the next matchup, and I kind of wonder where we'll end up. I'm in the meantime going to look at the brackets of the other groups. So, oh, that's not what I meant to do. See where we are at. Let's see, we have the Real Bigots from FBI that is through to this round. So basically everyone that made it to this round is through to the matches tomorrow. Thing is, I can't see clan tags in this, which is annoying. Let's see. If someone calls them noobs, you already know that there's pro players in there. But tomorrow should definitely be fun. We're gonna get some great matches, regardless of who they're up against, because generally the teams that will go through today will be good. Winsk is of course through. Basically, those are my two favorites. I'm really hoping for an RTK Winsk finals tomorrow, because that would be epic gameplay. So, less than a minute. Well, okay. Missiles aside, the Sheridan is broken, because it's way too strong a tank. Same with the T92E1. They're both very, very broken. They're both great tanks, but... And to play, I mean, if you can't... what's the saying? If you can't... join them. But yeah, that. Same with this. I've been playing the Sheridan and T92E1 as well, and they're lovely tanks. I really enjoy driving them. I don't enjoy the missiles. I've also not taken the time to bother learning the trick shots and everything. That's just not my cup of tea. But I like the tanks themselves without the missiles. I would really love it if Wargaming would just... There we go. Let's see where we're at. the other side again. We're up with Dash and who they're up against now. Let's have a look. Let's see, what group are we at? Dash and row 1. But that means that the next match we should see RTK again. Oh my lord, I wonder how that's gonna go tomorrow. That's not very promising, is it? No idea why I've been skipping teams. But this should be a good competition because they're both good teams. At least that's why they are, so could be fun. I'm just typing a message to Zerd. But yeah, we'll see what happens. We have a little less than 4 minutes left to go. But yeah, like I said, I really hope that Wargaming will remove the missiles and just make them proper light tanks. Because as tank, I would want to keep them. I enjoy them. But just no missiles. Just give them normal heat or anything. And we'll see. I think they will do a lot better then. Especially since they're also looking into the British lights, I heard. And that could be fun. I like light tanks. I like that there's more light tanks entering the game. So, we are going to Oasis Palms. And both teams are fully present. Just got a bag. I just told Sir, I should see you in the finals though. He's like, lovely. But this is the kind of thing, I mean, come on. I told you beforehand, Wargaming said that they would attach me to RTK. So they did it for one match, and then I'm just like on the opposite side of the bracket. I have no idea how that will go tomorrow. I've already addressed several things yesterday, and I actually did not get an answer to any of it. So I'm really not sure what's gonna happen tomorrow. So let's see, 2.5 minutes left to go. And we have a row that has readied up in a Chieftain MK6, an AMX-50B, a T-22 medium, 2 Sherrys, another Chieftain, and an Object 140 versus a Foch, 2 T-62As, an STB, a 5A. Oh god, I love that tank. I really want it. Another Foch and an IS-4. And the 5A is a tank that I didn't get it. I did try to buy crates, but I didn't get it, and it hurt. Not like physically hurt, but it's just... Crates are awful. The fact that basically you can buy thousands of crates and still not get what you want. I mean, the probability that you will get that 5% that you need to get the tank is a lot. It gets higher the more crates you get, but technically speaking, the chance is always 5%. So I really dislike that as well. Missiles and crates. But we know that the crates will stay because they earn Wargaming $1.5 ton, because basically people buy them. I mean, I'm a living example. I hate the crates, but I will try it. And then I don't get it. And I'm like, eh. But that's the same thing for a lot of people. So they earn Wargaming a ton of cash. And as long as people buy them, they've seen no reason. If you get the whole active community not to buy them anymore, the active community is like 5 to 10% of the whole player base. So it's generally not useful. You need to get in touch with everyone else in order to not buy crates in again, and that's not gonna happen. So the crates are here to stay, but I really hope the misses are not. There's actually a really good... let me see if I can get that. There is a poll happening right now. That is actually something that I feel everyone should vote for. Please vote. You'll understand this in 5 minutes. Basically about the missiles. And so far we've got over 1,600 replies. Probably more now. But yeah, here we go. Let's focus on the match. And we'll see what happens after. But yeah, I really hope that Wargaming actually listens and doesn't take a year and a half like they did with Oh, spare parts. That's the word I was looking for. So let's see what happens with this. I have no idea what what it means, but okay. I do hope that they're not talking about tactics in the chat. Let's see. We see people camping at the back. We don't see the blues on the minimap. Sheridan. Oh, he does pay for it with more damage than he actually does. But that shot though. They're now getting in each other's way. They're bleeding HP. Nice shot into the T62A. Not thought to use the Chieftain in a realistic tournament. T62A, there we go. T22 is moving in. But they have to be careful. They know where the Foch is though. SCB is moving back. Chieftain losing quite a bit of HP there. And they need to be careful. Team is also very spread out that bounce though. STB losing a little bit of HP. Because this is the thing, you don't see the outline. It makes for interesting gameplay to be sure. And now the Chieftain is in harm's way. They need to be careful. They lost quite a bit of HP there. And Dash has now a 2k advantage nearly. Which is slowly fading away. Shots happening left and right. Focus fire is not really there. Boulogne is in a lot of trouble. STB as well. Oh, that hit the scent. Nice troll move by Blueberry. But there goes the T62A. We see a missile happening that makes a full pen. And we see another one that does nice damage. Shots happening left and right. Actually like seeing the missiles fly like that. And there goes another gun, but it does cost them a little bit more. But they have a 2-gun advantage now. Oh, nice hit. They have a 2k advantage. Ooh. That's gonna hurt. Oh, that was painful. And now the Chieftain is in a lot of trouble. And they are taking the game back to them. Chieftain in trouble, but they're not actually looking at him. The Foches are though. T68 is in trouble as well, but they have to be very careful. If the Chieftain peeks out too far, like he does now. And it is 4 versus 4. They need to be they need to be careful. Especially with those Foches behind, but they have a base. No, he wasn't there. They're all talking in the chat, which can be extremely distracting. Shoot a missile. See what happens. They need to take out the T62A. You have the 140 over there. He has to be very careful. There we go. Big hit and he gets away with it. And now they're capping base B. They can let that happen, but they have to be careful. Of course, we see more than they do. They know where the Foch is. This is tricky gameplay. They're now moving ahead a little bit. But even if they cap base B, it's no problem. They can let him have it. It's the T62A and the 5A here that are a lot more dangerous. AMX is now turning around. Chieftain needs to turn around as well. Big miss. Sherry getting forced. This is going to be tricky. Oh, Chieftain barely alive. There goes the Forsh in the middle. And there he goes. And it is 4 guns with 2 HP for the Chieftain. And now the AMX is going straight on in. He has the HP. He can do it. And he does get forced for it. But it honestly doesn't matter anymore. Because it's 4 guns. And 2 bases versus 1 base. 1 gun. With 1 shell. He is looking around. He doesn't need to take any risks. They are capping the base. They have all 3 bases now. Now that one missed. He wants to share the one. This 140 though. And there you go. Chieftain finishes it off right as they hit 1k points. Well done by Row. That is quite a cool game though, to be fair. It was quite close. The longest game we've had so far, nearly 6 minutes. So very well done there. So let's see, half a minute left to go before we go into the second match of this best of 3. In the semi-finals of today's matches. No idea what you were saying. I'll try and see that later. So, let's see. 4 seconds left to go. We have Chieftain Force T22s. Lots of different tanks. 2 Chieftains, AMX 50B, Force IS-7, Sherry T22 versus IS-4, STB, 2 T62As, 2 E3s and a 5A. I'm very curious what is going on, what they're saying. So let's see. Let's go up and away, and we see that the teams are spread out a bit more now. And we have a row focusing primarily on the A and B side. Whereas the IS-4 and the E3s are overlooking base C and anyone that is there. But the IS-4 is alone, and we have 1 Sherry that has already been spotted and already took some damage. But no one else's base C is being capped. And they kind of need to get a move on. They kind of need to make their move. Get those bases. Which is exactly what they're doing now. Even if they're not going for base B. And we see the guys from C, aside from the STB, pulling back. And the 5A is about to meet. Oh, he's losing a lot of HP just trying to peek out too far like that. I'm not sure what he's doing now, because he's still showing himself to him, and now he's showing his ass. And there he goes. There goes a flying turret. Look at that. And now they're in a tricky position. Because we have, ooh, big hits all around. E3, they have a gun disadvantage now, even if they both kept the base in time. They need to take out the guns. The T62A needs to go. But they're focusing on so many different tanks, they're not taking out those guns. Chieftain, there we go, finally taking out Internet Z, War Z. There goes the Force. And basically Dash is taking it back this time. And it's a lot to do with the fact that they're not focus firing. Chieftain. They need to take out. There we go. Tanks are dropping left and right. But Dash has a gun advantage right now. Even though we don't know how long it will last. That 5A bounced though. And now he's showing his rear to 2 E3s. That's not going to go well. Base C is being stolen, but it means that they left their teammates behind. And the T-22 is not going to win on his own versus this many tanks. Sheridan losing HP as well. But he takes him out. But now he's in a Colobanov situation. And he's not going to be able to do this. Unless he gets very, very lucky. There is no one there to hit with that missile. But look at the way that it flowed between things. But now he's on a reroll. And that can be very tricky. I have a feeling, pretty sure, that this one is gonna go in Dash's direction. Big hit there. E3 turning. That's gonna be... He needs to take him out though. There we go. But now he needs to be able to get out. That's not gonna happen with two E3s in front of him on either side. And there he goes. And Dash takes home the second match. First tiebreaker we've had today. Again, pretty close games. These teams are pretty close together in skill and the way that they do. But I like how Dash responded, just changed the way that they played the first game and basically took it home the second game. So let's have a look what they're gonna take now. We see some tanks being changed. With half a minute left to go, we see Rowe getting ready in a T-62A, a T-22 medium, a Sherry, a Chieftain, an AMX 50B, another Sherry and potentially a Foch. Versus a 1-1 STB, two T-62A, a Sherry, a 5A and the IS-4. So let's see what they're gonna do with that. Ooh. You don't want to drop out of the team there. Here we go. And this is basically it. It's a lot about who spots who first and who gets the shots in, who's communicating, who's focus firing, that kind of stuff. There's a lot less tactics involved compared to regular tournament gameplay. I actually prefer the tactical work a lot more, but it is fun to do this every once in a while. I really hope that we will get a nice little uprising on Mat Games tournament at some point. So we see Rowe focusing on the C side, one T-62A, potentially AFK. No, there he goes. And the enemy team is focusing entirely on base B and base A. They're capping a base. Rowe is not bothering with that. I think they want to get behind them. One Sherry is going very far out of the way. And we see that blue team is going towards the middle. There's not really many shots for the Sherry here. He's hiding behind a rock here. Base B is still open. Only Boulogne has lost some HP. But overall it looks like Dash is... Oof, especially now. Dash is dominating the map. And Dumix is losing quite some HP, crossing back to his team. Big hit there. Overall quite passive gameplay, but they have the point advantage. Even if it's only 12 points, they only need to wait. It will be Rowe that has to make it happen. And as they fire, they are betraying their positions, they are losing HP. Shots happening, but T-62A is in a good position there. No idea what they're saying. But apparently they're not agreeing with each other. Boulogne waiting patiently behind the building. Unbroken moving in, potentially revealing himself. And Dash holding carefully. Shots happening, no damage done. Van Biscuit losing a little bit of HP. But overall, Dash is holding it very, very well. And steadily, they're being eaten away, bro. They're not gonna win this when they play like this. They've lost so much HP. They're 2.5k behind. Well, 2.7k to be exact. First shot for damage. Well, not first, but some damage happening on the other side finally. But Unbroken needs to get out of there. They've lost so much HP here. They need to get base speed, but they're not really gonna be able to. Because Dash has everything on lockdown. Sherry waiting for a shot. Van Biscuit taking a bit more damage, but gets some nice shot into the ice 4 there. Planes flying over. But that's the thing, Chieftain works very well, but he's taking way too much damage. Yeah, they need to get B. They need to get it together. They could use the other side of the building, but they don't know exactly where everyone is. And that is the tricky part. Because you can bet your ass at the moment that they move in, which is now what's happening. They need that base. Not Sheridan. I would not cap it with the Sheridan, mainly because... well, there we go. But they are shielding the T-22, which means that now they have the base. Sheridan is probably not gonna live, but... there he goes. They do have the 2 bases, but it's not gonna last when you lose tanks like that. Chieftain almost gone, base B being recaptured. They've lost so much HP to this. There he goes. 3 guns down. No, this is definitely gonna be Dash's game. They're taking it home, they're working together. Boulogne. They do take above all potato. Oh my god, those names though. Boulogne is gone. Dragon is not gonna survive much longer. It's 6 versus 3. And they're at 900 points. They don't even need to recap base B. And there he goes. We have an AMX versus a T-62A. There's 1 shell left. And that's not going to be enough to finish the T-62A. Especially now that the STB... he's not taking any chances. But he's also getting the shots in. They're not bothering with... he might actually know he does not. And there we go, we are at 1k points. Unbroken is still alive, but the team is definitely broken. They lost this. In the meantime, I'm seeing a lot of French happening in the chat. Je parle un petit peu français, but not that much. Let's have a quick look. So now we're gonna get one more matchup tonight. And let's see who's that gonna be. And that's gonna be R2K versus Dash. So we should be at least seeing R2K. So let's see. Just have to be a little bit more patient again because we have to wait for the next matchup. But that will happen in just over 10 minutes, so I don't have time to show you a replay. But we have FBI versus Unknown and a little bit of God and a little bit of VLC in Group 1. And then we have in Group 2 MFG. Haven't seen them around much lately, so that's nice. Versus APA and a bit of Luck and a bit of Souls. And let's see, what else have we got? We have the Stars versus Win. I'm gonna show you because even though we already know it's Win, they are my second favorites for this tournament. And R2K versus Dash. Do we have another group? Yes, we do. Oh, hi! From a lot of different clans. Against... Chart? Let's see. What does Chart stand for? Choice Raiders. Okay. That's something I wonder about though, because Wargaming has this rule where... let's actually also get what map are we gonna be on now. Wargaming has this rule where you have to come from a country that fits with your with your server. So if I'm in EU, as in the region Europe, I can't go to an offline tournament for the North American server. We had that last year with one of the very pro players from early Legion and EG and everything, Whoops. Now Whoops, real name Nick, was not allowed to go to Twister for EG because he lives in Russia. And I find that is one of the, well, basically the dumbest rule that we could have, because it's not exactly fair. He fought for it. He's never ever had an account on another server. He's always played on EU. And I understand that if someone would reroll on another server to just do tournaments there, yeah, then it's a different thing. But he's been on EU since forever. So I don't think it's fair that he's not able to... Ooh, Inapoi, what we saw the Bulon guy say, means back. So he was telling Dragon to go back. Thank you for that. Learn something new every day. But yeah, just... that's one of the rules that I really hope Wargaming will let go of, because... if you are going to an offline for your team, geography should not matter. I mean, they're bringing people from all over the world to a certain location, so why would it matter if you come from a country that is not necessarily related to your server? I know plenty of people from EU that play on NA and the other way around. That shouldn't be a problem. They just have a different server preference. But yeah. Let's focus on the room that should be up in about 3 minutes. Let's have a look what else. I can't really show you anything really. We have to be patient. I can the guy that was spamming Russian before, I can see what he said. Because I waited that. He was spamming go to me on the stream. I'm not sure what that means, but okay. But yeah. That's basically my thoughts on the whole tournament thing, and the missiles thing we've already crossed that, and the crates thing we've crossed that as well. I just really hope that Wargaming will listen and will remove those missiles. So, in the meantime, let's look at my pretty tank. This is actually still, in my opinion, the sexiest camo that the game has. I absolutely adore it. It looks so gaudy, but it's awesome. And when I got this tank, I was so glad when I finally got the camo on it. It's just, it looks so... like I said, it looks so gaudy, it's shiny. And my main account is I'm clan leader of a clan called the Gold Noob Association. So of course, when there's a gold tank, I kind of have to have it, don't I? Hey Andy. And of course, hello everyone else that is watching. We have 2 minutes left to go before the room is up. I'm sorry I can't really show you any replays because I just don't want to risk... for whatever reason, missing the invite and all of that. So we're just going to be talking a little bit more. So, tomorrow we should have really interesting games as well. They will be more OP than the games today, mainly because the teams will be more OP and the not as strong teams will have been filtered out. Of course, I'm very curious how this will go in NA, because NA only had 12 teams register, because... whereas last week Wargaming decided that people could register until like an hour before it started. So this weekend they decided, let's close registration like on Friday afternoon somewhere. And that meant that a lot of teams that wanted to register did not have time to register. And I actually contacted Wargaming about it, but haven't got any reply. So we just have to be happy with the teams that we have, but that means that NA only has one group, so the teams that we see the top 4 there today will also be the teams that we see tomorrow. So that's not very promising. But at least EU has 76 teams and Asia has 22 teams, so there's a chance of different people there. Actually on Asia we see the same team tomorrow starting that we saw in the finals today. So that can be fun as well. But it's a double elimination, we'll see where we end up at, and it will just be fun. Because that's the main thing about this. I don't think you should take realistic tournaments too serious, you should just have fun with it. Just enjoy the new game mode, enjoy the new insights and all of that. So yeah. We need to be a little bit patient. Is Carla still around actually? I haven't heard of them. God, was definitely one of the OP clans. And I really like them. So, room invite is here. Here we go. Let's ready up. And I'm actually with RTK and hey. So yeah. We still have about 4 minutes left before we actually enter the game, so we have plenty of time to just look at the whole setup and everything. Always have my screens in a certain order so that I can keep an eye on as much as possible with the whole, both with OBS because I want to see that the stream is healthy, the game, the chats and everything. But I only have my laptop, so that's also why you don't see a full screen game when I'm streaming, because I only have one screen, so I have to be able to watch everything in that screen. So this is basically as wide as my game can go with me still having to watch other things. But with 3.5 minutes left to go, RTK is pretty much all there. And we see that Dash is all there. They just haven't readied up yet. And we just have to wait. But should be fun finals. And there's a tournament that I really want to arrange. Basically a quirky tournament with all kinds of weird things. Which just like, you're not allowed to take Russian tanks on this map, you're not allowed to take Germans on that map, or you only have to drive English tanks on that map. That could be really funny. Because mainly I understand that people take tournaments very seriously. And I think that's a good thing because there's more time, there's more money involved and everything. But I just really like it when it's just fun and not too complicated. And when people are reminded that it is indeed a game and should be fun. So, with 2.5 minutes left to go, we have RTK ready in 2 215Bs, a T22 medium, an IS-7 and 3 E50Ms. And we see that Dash is still a little bit deciding, but they're gonna go for the setup that we've seen quite relatively much, but with more mobility. We see a 1-to-1 3 T62As, an 2 STBs, and a 5A. Again, that 5A, oh, I wish I had it. Basically, I'm pretty good in heaviums. I'm not saying epic because I'm not epic in anything, but I'm pretty good in heaviums. It fit my playstyle. I really enjoy driving those. That's mainly also the reason why I really wanted the 5A, because that's a proper heavium. It's not OP or anything, it's just really great. Peter just told me I missed the fun battles, so we basically missed the fun battles that RTK has today. That's not promising. I wanted to see them. But yeah, a little over 1 minute left to go. And then we will enter the finals in the best of 3 today. Tomorrow the finals will be best of 7, so that will be quite different. So let's see what they do with this. Kinda hope they will have fun with it. They should, even though tomorrow will be trickier, less of a walkover, I think. Though the teams we saw before with Dash and Row and all that were pretty close. They did good together. "30 seconds left to go. Just enough time for me to take a little bit of a drink. The finals in Asia today, with the waiting time in between, were over in 7 minutes. It was very fast. And here we go. We are ready. Let's go. 1-to-1B does look so sexy though. And here we go on Normandy. One of my more favorite maps, and that has everything to do with the fact that it's just it's bigger. It's one of the biggest maps we have, and it's very different in heights and positions and everything. It's not very predictable, and that's what I love about it. So let's see what they're gonna do with this. And we see Dash heading towards base D as a whole, and R2K more towards the A and B side. I think they want to get behind them and just go for a straight on murder session. Base D now being kept, and R2K is pushing in. That focus fire though. 5A immediately getting some shots. Gassio in trouble. Rest of R2K arriving, but all of the team is together, so it will be down to the focus fire. They have to be careful. The 5A is their preferred target. The STB is getting some shots in. There goes the 5A. Massive is on fire, bleeding HP. They need to take out the STB. Basically, they need to focus fire and make the focus fire properly, because there goes Gassio. And they also lost Killer Tomato. It is all down to the focus fire. They might actually lose this game, because they're not taking out the low HP targets. There goes above all Potato. It is 5 versus 2. They should have this, but Wunderkind is not gonna survive. And there he goes. And now only Andreas is left, and he's attempting to run away. They're capping the base. They're not really in any rush. And there he goes. He runs off. And now they're going. Basically the base is their security. I'm not sure why he's not running down to the beach, because now he's just running into a whole lot of trouble. And there he goes. And the first game is for RTK. Damage-wise, not that far apart. Dash definitely held their own for a little bit there. And in less than a minute, we get to go to the second match. Ah, Mud. He just said, you also want to do some counting in live stream once? Could be fun. I will once I feel a little bit better, because the thing is that if I play alone, I don't need to focus as much. But if I'm playing against a lot of people that I know can see what I'm doing, I need a little bit of a player level that I don't really have right now. But we have RTK readied up in the same thing as, I think it's the same thing as before. 3 E50Ms, 2 215Bs, a T22 and IS7 versus a Foch, a 215B and IS4, an E50M, a 5A, T62A and an STB. So let's see what happens in this second match. In potentially the last match of the evening. And here we go. I love that I heard Fu Fa, but I don't think there's any Chinese tanks here. That's weird though. RTK again going for the middle. Dash a lot more spread out now. They are capping base C, Zerd in the IS7. They are waiting. They are capping base B. Not sure if they're actually gonna cap it. They're basically doing the same thing as last match. And that can be very tricky. Gassio losing HP. Look at Blueberry though. He is bleeding. And there he goes. First gun's out. But it is costing them a little bit of HP there. But that gun advantage can make all the difference. Above all, Potato is now next in line. Look at that. 4 tanks around him. He can't possibly aim for everything. Massive is in trouble though. And there he goes. Gassio is gone. Massive is a one-shot. They need to be careful. Indigo in trouble. HP wise, there's so many low targets now. But it is 4 versus 3 guns. As long as they focus fire, they should have this. Wunderkind now in trouble. Blocking the shot, but not effectively. Because there goes Wunderkind. 3 versus 3. One of them an IS-7, which does not really have the DPM that they want. But there you go, he takes him out. Ben Lusterko is next in line, almost gone. There he goes. And now again it's Andreas that is left for long, the last one alive. And RTK just comes over the hill. Killer Potato even not hiding. Because if he dies now, it doesn't really matter. Does he get him? Yes, he does. But there you go, straight on after. And RTK takes it home. 1 Mo and Zerd, the last one's alive. And that was the last match of the evening. Very tricky YOLO gameplay by RTK, but it paid off. Fun battles though. I enjoy this. It's fun to see. I prefer the tactical side of things because it makes for more patient gameplay, and this is basically has been let's rush and see what happens. But again, with the waiting time, the finals were over in 7 minutes, have to point that out. So that's I wonder how that's gonna go in NA tonight. But we'll see. So that is it for tonight, really. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will be back tomorrow to stream Asia, EU and NA, but also before that I will be back later today, or later tonight I should say, with the matches for NA. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I definitely did. It's a lot of derp and just focus fire and all of that, but it's sort of like it takes you back to the basics, because you see that with the way that just take that last 2 matches for example, the way that RTK moves around and basically gets behind them, it gives them free damage even when they know that there's probably gonna be tanks there. They could also come from the other side. Like in normal battles you get people at base D and people at base C and they would face off against each other, but now you can't actually see anyone unless you're looking at them. So going through base B to get behind them is actually a brilliant move. And that's something I think we're going to see tomorrow as well, things like that. Overall though, I really enjoyed this. I hope you guys did too. I wish you all a good night for now, and I'll be back in a little over 5 hours to stream NA as well. Should be funny then too. And I hope to see you guys then. So everyone, have a good night. Actually, no, one last thing. I'm gonna have a quick look to see if we know the scores yet of the other groups, because this is basically the only not sure if you see that actually. Let's have a look. Wins took that home. Oh, I wish it just goes fast. The game doesn't allow that. So we're gonna have a quick look here. This is still going. I'm not gonna wait for it, mind. This one we know. This one we just saw. Wins took that home. Mac Games Better, that was Appa took it home. Oh, that's a bit too far. And let's see here. If the game actually loads, that would help. The Real Baguettes, which was FBI, yes. They took it home. And this one we just looked at, that was Appa, yes. So aside from one team, we know the results of all of them. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I'll be seeing you later tonight, hopefully. Have a good night, everyone, and see you then, or see you tomorrow. Bye-bye!